Well, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for sticking with us. This is Why in the Morning. My name is Ram Maguko. It's a pleasure being with you today. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. We are coming to you live from the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation here in Nairobi, Kenya. And of course, we are streaming through our website. That's at www.kbc.co.ke/Y254. It's a pleasure being with you. If at all you've just joined us, and of course, today, let's talk about matters concerning politics. When the president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, took over power on Tuesday, that is the 13th of September 2022, he publicly outlined broad measures that his new administration was going to undertake to grow the tax compliance levels, which will be critical in his plan to wean Kenya off of the costly external debt gradually. The president, in his speech during the his inaugural at Kasarani, during his inauguration speech at Kasarani Stadium, he announced measures to tackle the food crisis and bring down the cost of living. And of course, perhaps the most pressing challenge of his administration in his 100 days, including matters concerning corruption and, slashing the fertilizer prices. We are now having a discussion concerning the 100 days, rather, the 100 days of the UDA government in office. What are some of the hits and misses of this government as we speak? What are some of the things that you feel they've managed to tackle in a very good way, and what are some that you believe that they need to pull up their socks on? Remember, the president said that when it comes to some of these issues, they might need more than a year to be able to get permanent solutions. What is your take in regards to that? Well, to help me in this particular discussion, I'm with, next to me, Olivia Mukami. He's a student leader at the University of Nairobi. And to my far right, I'm with Darren Hart, who is a council member at Tugutuke. Yeah, karibuni sana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming. I appreciate your presence. Let me start with you, Mukami. Tell us something a bit, before we get into the nitty-gritties, something a bit more about what you do and a bit more about yourself for somebody who's meeting you for the first time today.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me today. So my name is Olivia Mukami. I'm a student leader, and I'm actually vying for the gubernatorial seat in the main campus.
Wow.
And an entrepreneur. I'm a youth entrepreneur, and encouraging youth, and I'm in politics as well. It's coming up. We have an organization called Vote Wise Kenya. So Vote Wise Kenya focuses on educating youth mostly, on voting wise, making critical decisions, on the ballot mostly. And if they have already failed, we also help them to correct it.
You help them to correct it?
Yeah, we help them to correct it when they
and
see
the gubernatorial race that you're vying for?
Yeah.
When are the elections coming up?
So they're coming up next year, but already we have started the campaigns. Yeah, so the ground is hot right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I wish you the best.
Thank
I don't
you
know
very
if you
much.
so vying for something, but let me come to you, Darren. Something about what you do and yourself for somebody who's meeting you for the first time today?
Yes, my name is Darren Hart. I'm the People's President at the University of Nairobi. Just as we have People's President Baba. And now, recently I was appointed Deputy Country Director Clean Up Kenya. I'm also the Youth Board Chair, YMCA Nairobi South Branch. I'm also the Council Member to Gutuke Movement. I'm also the founder and director, Darren Hart Foundation. Yeah.
No, thank you so much for coming, and I appreciate your presence. Let's get into the nitty-gritties of this particular discussion. First of all, let me start with you, Mukami. We have the 100 days of the government, the UDA government in office.
Yes.
Just in your opening remarks, so far, do you feel like we are setting the right pace and that we are on the right track?
Well, No, I don't think we are on the right track. I would give it a fail. I think we have failed. We have failed terribly. Terribly. I would
Why?
give it a 20 over 100.
20 over 100?
Yes.
Why that? That's a very low for... That's very low.
Yeah, it is, because we won't
Why?
sugarcoat anything right now.
Why?
Because they have not delivered. They have not delivered what they promise in their manifesto. We know we are educated people here. We read those manifestos very well.
Yeah.
And as the youth of this country, as students of Nairobi University Political Science, department, we are learned fellows. We think they have failed terribly. They have not delivered what they promised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And your opening remarks there?
Okay, according to me, checking in the within 100 days, I can't say they have failed terribly. There are strides that have been made, considering the pressure and the economic situation in the country. I can say, I can give them some points, and I can also say we are on the right track, but on the slow pace. Yes, but I'm seeing the future. If the president continue doing whatever he's doing, we will earn something out of it.
Out of 100?
Yes.
Percentage?
Okay, out of the 9 things the president promised, he has delivered 4. And
I'm looking at the percentage. Before you get into the specific ones, how would you rate them? She gave them 20%.
Okay, I can give them 54%.
Okay, now you can proceed. You said that they've delivered on 4.
4 items have been delivered on, and others have been worked on. So out of 4, I could say they are above 50. This includes even the Hustler Fund, although it has its own disadvantage, or maybe the nitty-gritties of it. But I can give them, they have tried. The president and his government have really tried to be where they are, considering the economic situation in the country, although I feel that the pace is slow.
So you wouldn't agree with what she's saying, 20%? It's
no, that is too low.
It's too low.
No, I don't think it's too low. That's what they deserve.
That's what they deserve?
Yeah, I think they promised more than they could handle. Yeah.
Okay, let me look at some of the things that we are looking into today. We have the appointment of the appointed pending court of the appeal judges, Court of Appeal Judges. And they were appointed, we saw them. Isn't that a hit, a good record for the government to be able to manage to do that?
Well,
yes, it's a good record. And the president promised and he delivered with no fear. You know, when we have strong judiciary, we will have a smooth rolling of the country. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a hit for you?
That's a hit as well. But that is, part of the 20%.
Part of the 20?
Yeah, that is the part of the 20%.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
the appointment of the Court of Appeal Judges.
Yeah.
We are looking at the operationalization of the Judiciary Fund. Now it's operational.
Yeah.
The Judiciary Fund. You know, we've had a discussion, and I remember the former CJ was talking, a lot about that fund. What you're taking regards to that?
Well, I think, first of all, say, if you strengthen the judiciary, that means you're strengthening. It's a very important institution in the government. It's one of the institutions that a country needs. And I think the fund will seriously help. Will help very well in, the operations, the day-to-day operations of the judiciary, because it was stuck. It was stuck for a while. And apart from the fund helping in pushing things, I also think the judiciary still needs to be worked on, and the fund will help, will really help. Yeah.
All right, all right. Darren?
Okay, that is a hit, and I think it's a good move, because once we empower the judiciary, the judiciary will have its own mandate to carry out its responsibilities. We've seen in the past whereby we have cases that have taken longer. There are being postponed every now and then. Some courts are not working.
Yeah.
There are no enough lawyers. So you see, if we strengthen the judiciary system and we make it independent as it is, then Kenyans will get justice.
Now it's operational,
Yes.
and we are looking at something that might be able to fund, although that can fund their day-to-day operations. And for me, that's a good hit. 100 days. All right. Speaking of funding, Hustler Fund. Let's launch. What will make us Hustler Fund? Let's talk about that. Hustler Fund.
Well, that's another thing I don't agree with. Hustler Fund it's more of a reward. I can't call it a fund, it's more of a reward. And according to my view, this Hustler Fund will later come out as, you remember when we had these COVID millionaires, soon we'll have Hustler millionaires. I look it for me, you don't look something near, you look at it from a distance.
You foresee a scandal coming up?
Yeah, I oversee a scandal coming up, and it will be a big scandal. Maybe, normal Kenyans might not see it right now, but people who understand very well this Hustler Fund, it was not a good idea.
According to me, Hustler Fund was a very good idea from the president. Very good. I give him 110%. But I would like to criticize.
I was waiting on the but.
Where I want to criticize
There's always a but somewhere.
There's a but.
Okay,
it's not straight.
where I want to criticize the Hustler Fund is the money is too small. And number two, how it was put into operational to Kenyans. Number one, it did not go through the parliament. Number two, we don't know the agreement between the corporate bodies like Safaricom and Airtel who are dishing this money. And where is the source of this money? Kenyans don't know that, and that is what they are talking on the streets. How much is the interest? And if you want to get how much, you see the 50 shillings, when you get the Hustler Fund, the 50 shillings goes to the savings, right? Now the question will be, I'm the one who is saving, and I'm the one who has asked for the Hustler Fund. Are they taking my 50 shillings by force or willingly?
But it depends on the person that has taken the Hustler Fund.
Yes.
It depends. Every person has a different allocation.
Okay, now, the question arises, where is this money coming from? And from which banks?
Does it matter where it's coming from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who is even managing it, Who is even managing it? Who is even managing it? And the other question, I don't know if Darrell will agree with me on this, this is not 2000, this is 2023. 2022, sorry. We are going to 2023. 500 shillings. Our economic situation right now is so bad. We have a calamity right now. People are hungry. When you give me 500 shillings, the first thing I think about is going to buy unga, 2 packets of unga. I'm not thinking of investment.
For you, the first thing that you mentioned was, one of the first things was, where is it coming from? Okay, where is it coming from? So, for somebody who needs money, will they think about where the money is coming from? The hustlers, the Kenyan hustlers. So if it was coming from a particular bank, would you take it, as opposed to if it's coming from through a loan from China? Ungekata? These are hustlers.
Siwezi kata. And that's the problem. It's a fund. I'm not supposed to repay it back. Si wangetupea tu bure. They would have given it. Wangepea na bure, because it's not helping at all. And then there is a problem with this thing. They said during the manifesto that, every person will be able to access this money. Every citizen utatolewa kwa CRB. That has not happened. There are some people who are not able to access the Hustler Fund. Some people are not, because they're looking at your savings there. It's just like Mshwari. I don't see anything wrong. It's another Mshwari they have created. Lazima upite mtihani ya, mtihani ili upewe hii pesa. Hii pesa isaidi. I think they would have done something better with this Hustler Fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'll still support the Hustler Fund. It's a good idea. My problem is one, the mechanism at which it is started from.
That it just did not pass through parliament.
Yes, that's the sovereign power of the Kenyan people is through parliament.
If it did, let me ask you, Darren, if it did, would it be something you approve of?
Yes, because through the parliament, it will have been criticized and discussed, and also people's views on it will have taken to account. So that people will know this hustler fund is gotten from this place, there is this interest, the government has agreed with the corporate bodies like Safaricom and Airtel. When you do it, your savings will go like this. It's not, is it willingly or not willingly? Because I'm the one who is getting the loan. But the hustler fund itself is an empowerment to Kenyans. Because with 500, as much as she says it's small, with 500 you can start a business of kuuza ndizi.
Then it's a good thing.
Then it's a good
only
thing.
that you feel like it should have passed through parliament.
Yeah, yeah.
But now that it did not, it doesn't negate its goodness.
Yeah, it doesn't negate. But now the process
It was a bad plan
behind
from
it.
the start. The strategy of hustler fund, it was bad. You know, sometimes I also say, not all of us are, you know, are business oriented. We are not all business people. You understand? Eh?
Yeah.
So, for example, Darrell thinks that with 500 he can start a business. Not everyone thinks that they can start a. Not everyone is a businesswoman. Not everyone is a businessman. Not every youth is a business person will think I can go and buy, I can go to Gikomba, you know, start my small thrift business, I can go to Marigiti and stuff. We are not all of us business oriented. What they would have done, they would have done something, a common good, you know, like SACCO, the SACCO thing, eh?
So the optionality should be SACCO. They should have
It
gone
would
the
be a
SACCO
SACCO
way.
thing, you know, like, you know, Kenyans are known with SACCOs very well.
Yeah.
It would have started with SACCOs, you know, like 15 youth come together, do something, being given, you know, the hustler fund thing. It would have come as a SACCO thing, but not an individual thing. Because right now, most youth, you know, you could see online, eh, when the hustler fund came, people used it that weekend.
Can a SACCO... Okay.
Just to correct, you know, hustler
Yeah.
fund has the interest of the SACCO also.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's there. The SACCO can also go and apply.
But there's an approach she's talking about.
Yes.
Highlight the approach because SACCOs are also the SACCOs can also apply there, isn't it?
Yes.
But now she's talking about approaching it in the form of accessibility, the way you access loans through a SACCO.
Yeah, the way you access loans through a SACCO. But also remember, this hustler fund, they are checking at your credibility. So the SACCO thing has a question there because if they check if you have a loan, if I have a loan, if you know, it's the plan was bad. It was not strategized properly.
I still don't agree. Because I think the hustler fund came to that local Mwananchi who even don't know the bank for some of those people. And that's why the president was saying the process will be easy as dialing 123 on your phone. And so if you incorporate things to do with the SACCO, you know, you're excluding some of the people who cannot go to the SACCO. They don't have even an ID. Or maybe they are under 17 or something. Under 18, maybe in town there. But they have a phone, they have a will to go and start that small business. But they have a phone, so they can just dial and get the money. The money is okay. What I can propose on it is to increase the limit for those people and also to tell Kenyans how it operates. What is the interest? That is it.
Now
Is it zero interest?
Let's talk about the interest rates. Some Kenyans are complaining about the interest that is too high. Is it okay for you? Of course, I know you will. No, but is it okay
For
for
me,
you?
it is a bad idea. So from the start, the game plan was
Everything was bad.
So it's a spoiled wherever for me.
Okay, for me, the interest is low. But I will suggest it to be zero. Let that money be just, you take it, you reverse it the way it is. Because it's from the government.
And why did they even call it a fund? You know?
But also, you know, when it has an interest, we are also earning as Kenyans. We are getting something. And that something will build our country. So long as we don't have the corruption. Yeah.
You have a problem with the name?
I have a problem with the name because if I'm funding you, why do I need interest?
Why should it be
why?
returned as a loan?
It's a fund. It's a fund. You're funding me. So it is not a good idea. So for me, I don't think I have anything.
For me, I'll still support the interest, but it should be a little bit smaller. Because we're also building our country. We are caring for the future of this nation. And if we get this interest, it's not going to the pocket of someone. if it's going to the pocket of the government, the government will be able to improve some of the facilities in health, education, and whatever, so long as the money is helping us and growing the country, but not an individual.
All right, something else. We are looking at those who are put in CRB. The government, the UDA lifted those who are blacklisted. We are looking at a number of approximately 4.5 million Kenyans that were lifted from the CRB blacklist. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Mukami.
Thumbs down.
Why?
Because, you know...
you want them to be on CRB?
You know, if you asked for a loan, you asked a loan from someone's business, these banks are businesses. When you took a loan, you knew you will pay back. So what are they trying to promote? Are they trying to, you know, banks are also owned by, you know, by people. You need to pay back your money.
The government is helping the hustlers who cannot manage to pay back. Hence, them ending up on CRB blacklisting.
Where can they create a plan, you know? They can create a plan, but what are they teaching Kenyans? What are you teaching Kenyans that you can be deleted from CRB so you can take loans and, you know, the government comes. It's a reward. I'll just call all this a reward, which is not right. Which is not right.
So 4.5 million Kenyans ought to be brought back to CRB?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thumbs up. I think, number one, I appreciate the idea. Some people are literally not able to pay. Somebody maybe borrowed 20,000 shillings or 10,000 shillings. But the nature of our society can't allow them to pay the money. So if the government can pay them, that debt, but the government should also empower those people so that it will not keep on paying the debt. You see, the problem is not even the CRB. The problem is the empowered people.
They may end up going back
jobs,
into debt.
People don't have jobs. They are not generating anything. They will end up going back to the CRB. But supporting the removal of CRB, I support it 100%. But the government should empower the people of Kenya, especially the youth who are unemployed, so that they are able to sustain themselves. But if they don't, if the government will not create jobs, opportunities for these people, still more people will go to the CRB.
Do you agree with her that they should be taken back to CRB, because now you're saying if they're not empowered, then they will still go back to getting blacklisted? Should they be taken back so that they can learn?
No, they should not be taken back, because it's the government, and the government is the people. It's the government of the people. The problem is not even taking them back. The government has done a very good thing to bring them out of the CRB, so that they are free people who can borrow again, who can continue with their businesses. But the problem lies from the government to provide jobs, opportunities, so that these people can sustain themselves instead of going back to the CRB.
You know, there is a problem here, because we're in a society where we just don't, deal with the root cause. What is the root cause of this thing? Why are people in CRB? Because there is no empowerment, there is no jobs. So create jobs, let these people have jobs, and let them be responsible for what they have done. Why am I removing you from CRB? Let me have a dialogue with the bank or the lender on a plan on how I will pay this thing.
Just look at this,
yeah,
Mukami.
yeah.
I was blacklisted at the CRB.
Yeah.
And now the government has given me funding, Hustler Fund.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I feel some form of reprieve? Wouldn't I feel relieved? One, I've been removed from CRB. Two, there is Hustler Fund that I have been able to acquire. Simenisaidia.
Imekusaidia, but utarudi pale pale. What we should do, we should learn, kujitegemea, because we are creating a society that imetolewa CRB. And you'll work out your thing, but we have people out there who don't have the understanding you have. Yakitolewa CRB atenda akope tena na hata lipa. Simlimlipia. Okay. So let us teach people how to be responsible.
According to my thought, this is a new government in place that has never been there. For the first time, we have a PhD president. We have never had a PhD holder president in
Well,
office.
A doctor.
A doctor. And now, this is just 100 days. We cannot just judge him fully that he will not deliver. And what I can say is this. When he entered office, he realized there are so many Kenyans who are in the CRB, and moving with those people, building this country, it can be cumbersome. So maybe he saw it, let me remove these people, empower them. Maybe he's going to create jobs, opportunities for the youth. Once he does that, this country will go up, and the GDP of this country will even triple if he does that and kills the corruption story of our country.
Well,
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm trying to look at the economic stability of the country that the president is trying to work on. And I'm noticing that there is the approach of empowering the Mwananchi. Do you feel like the Kenyan Mwananchi, the common one, the Wanjiko, is being empowered through these activities of funding and removal from blacklisting? Are they being empowered, Mukami?
well, like I said, and like he mentioned, it's 100 days. We are yet to see more, and we don't expect him to do miracles in 100 days. But I think they have to look at, there's needs and wants. They have to look at the needs. What do we need right now? We have calamities. Our economic situation right now is not very good as a country. So what are we concentrating on? They should concentrate on, like, for example, I'll give you an example. Like right now we have fertilizers. You mentioned fertilizers for farmers. Yeah. So it's a good idea, but strategically it's not a good idea, because the problem is the cost of production is very, very high. For example, right now, electricity tokens. Last month, with 1,000 shilling, you'd get 53 units. Right now, with 1,000, you're getting 37, 32, if I'm not wrong. So the cost of production is very low. And when you increase the cost of production is high, everything is chaos. So I think they have a good idea, but strategically, there is a problem. There's a problem somewhere. There's a problem somewhere. We should handle the most important things, the needs.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on. Still, there are so many things we are going to be looking into. 100 days, a lot has happened. We have he appointed 50% of women to cabinet and cabinet level portfolios. We are looking at gender representation. It has been a very strong issue in the country for many, many years. And to achieve the 2/3 gender rule, he sent a proposal to Parliament. Thumbs up, thumbs down, hit or miss?
Miss.
I think it's a hit for me.
Miss, hit.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start with the miss, my brother. Why do you feel so? 50% of women appointed into cabinet.
They have not been appointed 50%. We haven't achieved 50% women appointed in the cabinet positions.
What is the percentage?
I don't have the real figure, but they are not 50%. That was a promise, that is a miss.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a promise, but we are not seeing it, so it's a miss. Do you think we have 50% representation of women?
You tell me.
No, we don't.
You don't see it?
That is a miss.
The 2/3 gender rule in Parliament?
Not yet.
He gave them their proposal, his proposal.
He has tried. His government, compared to other government, the president has tried to give the women positions, but we have not achieved the real figure. Yeah.
All right, Mukami?
Well, we have not achieved the figure he gave, but we are growing as a country, and compared to where we are coming from, I think this is good. This is good. We had a lot of women and young women. Not, back then we used to have, older women in cabinet and everything. Right now we have younger women who are giving the youth, you know, hope and everything. So I think we are going there, and he has tried. I would give it a hit. He has tried, and maybe in the next years we will get to the 50. The 50%, but he has really tried. I think he considered women. He considered women. The party UDA considered women. Yeah, it considered women, so I can't complain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gender representation, do you believe that by the time we get to the next general election, we will see a lot of representation, especially on the side of women in leadership in Ruto's government?
Okay, I think the nature of how our politics are, it is still a very big challenge. I don't think it will be so soon. And according
by the time we get to the next general election?
No, I don't think so.
We wouldn't have achieved?
No.
Okay.
According to history, and also how he has shown, because this is the real time we could have gotten the 2/3 gender rule as we are speaking.
Now, you're talking about according to history, but I'm looking at according to what has happened, still on the same history.
Yeah.
What Dr. Ruto has managed to do, we are looking at him ensuring that we have more women in cabinet. 2/3 gender rule proposal has been taken to parliament. Yourself, you mentioned that this is something that hasn't happened in the previous regimes.
Yes.
So according to the same history, you don't believe that they will manage to achieve this by the time we get to the general elections in 2027?
No, I don't believe so. The number will go up, but not exact.
I think we will achieve. There was a very high improvement this time. I think that's a hit for me. He has really tried. He has empowered women. We have women in very good positions right now. Women leadership is good, even if we don't have the vice as a woman, you know. But I think women have been represented very well, and we are growing. You know, you don't expect us to.
But you don't have the real 2/3 gender representation, and that is what I'm saying.
Could it be because of what she said? You don't have the vice as a woman, the deputy,
No.
Yeah,
the deputy president.
Yeah. Maybe you don't have the vice as a woman, but I think we can't complain as Kenyan women, youth. We can't complain. We are well represented. We are well represented, and this time the turn up of women vying, women in cabinet was higher than any other government. So women are coming up. Maybe next time we'll have a woman president or a vice.
If they qualify, no,
we qualify.
No
we are there. We qualify. There's a lot of women who qualify.
Yeah, but my problem is I'm not objecting women. But they should not depend on appointments if they are able to do the work. Like those who have been appointed, thumbs up to the president. He has given women who can do the job. And it's also a positive thing that women are going into these positions. And maybe when we go forward, these positions to do with women women rep, we'll get away with, because now it will be quality. Yeah.
Okay.
50-50. And whoever wins is the best. Thank you.
You're not licking wounds, though, so no.
Yeah.
Not licking wounds. Now that you don't have a deputy president as a woman, I know that was a very strong point for some women before the general election.
We can even have a president who is a woman. Yeah. But they they should not wait to be appointed or to be, they should come for these positions. That is my advice.
I believe they're coming.
Yeah. They are coming. They are coming. And actually, and this is from stats, Kenya has a lot of women CEOs. Actually, more than men. So, and actually from outsiders, maybe you might not see because you're in Kenya, but Kenyan women are very brilliant. We are very brilliant. We work very hard. And I believe very soon, women will be leading this country.
I believe the two-thirds general rule might be achieved very soon.
It will be achieved. It will be achieved.
In
This
my
time
opinion,
it was
though
positive.
my opinion is completely mine. I should not have given my
No,
opinion.
he has tried. The UDA has really tried.
Ah.
With women, it was even the campaigns. You know, women were leading the campaigns very well. We saw women representation in campaigns, in in gubernatorial race. We have governors as women. For the first time, we have a lot of governors, women governors.
Yeah,
So we are heading there.
You're heading there.
Yeah.
But Darren doesn't seem to believe that, but time will tell.
Time will tell. We are
Time
here.
will tell.
Now, let's look at employment for the youth. Another issue that we are looking into 100 days into office of the president. Remember, we are talking about 100 days, but it ended on, it lapsed on 13th
Yeah,
December. 13th. That was on Tuesday, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it lapsed on 13th December. That's when the 100 days lapsed. So we are looking at the employment sector. Youths getting jobs. Has he managed to create opportunities? And I'm looking at particularly his transformation of the Kazi kwa Vijana initiative, where he's looking at making it into a production area rather than consumption program. Right? So employment, Kazi kwa Vijana, has he managed to do it? From where you sit, Mukami?
Yeah, well, I think they are trying. They are trying, and production is very important. So with 100 days, I can't see what they have done. I'm waiting to see what they will do. I'm waiting to see what they do. They just launched a few things, and I'm waiting to see how it's going, because unemployment is very high. We have a lot of Kenyans who are unemployed and are relying on other people. So let us wait and see, but I can't see anything, because the things they are focusing on, they are not very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's wait and see. I think I will not give them a miss. I will say they are trying. So let us see.
And I'm wondering, what is this that you feel they are focusing on that is not important?
Now, like something like Wi-Fi. Why are they focusing on Wi-Fi? Would I think about free internet when I'm hungry, when I don't have a job? How is free internet helping me?
Na hauna kazi.
Na sina kazi. Free internet, I don't understand. There are things I'm not understanding. How is NIFEST helping me as a youth in Nairobi? I'm a student. I am jobless. You're bringing a festival. How am I going to dance there hungry? So I think that they should focus on more important things like employment. They are heading there. We haven't seen it yet. They're heading there. But why are they wasting money on these things? Free internet.
But you can use the internet to get online jobs.
But not all of us have the knowledge about getting these online jobs.
Okay, Darren?
Okay, what I can say about employment. This country produces $1 billion+ shillings on taxes, court fines as revenue. This country is 100 billion USD GDP. But we have more than 12 million youth unemployed. Tell me, what is wrong? Because we have a serious problem with unemployment. Recently, at the University of Nairobi, there was a certain insurance company that was doing some interviews of the jobs. The people who who turned up, you could not imagine, old and young.
Yeah.
In hundreds and hundreds, they have come for few jobs position. And now
It has happened for a long time, for many years.
For a long time, and I tend to think that even there is a problem with our education system. It tends to bring out sophisticated hobos. Why do I say so? Because these people are programmed. We go to school, and even now, people are learning about the head of a locust, all the rivers and mountains in Africa and also Kenya. When a 5-year-old Chinese kid knows how to operate a laptop, they are taught algebra and geometry. So I tend to think even our education system, we need to check what are we producing. And also the country should know. I'm doing civil engineering at the University of Nairobi. I'm a 5th year. Then We have 5,000 unemployed engineers in Kenya. Tell me, when I graduate, where will I get a job?
The president launched the Education Working Party on education reforms.
Yes, on CBC.
Yeah,
Yes,
on CBC.
it was looking on CBC. He's looking into transforming the education sector. He's looking into ensuring that the education sector is well put.
Yeah, I think CBC
so
is it's a good thing.
You know, he's mentioning education there, and it reminded me of CBC, and I'm wondering, hasn't he made a positive step
He
forward?
he has
positive,
made a step.
yeah.
But also those people should check the content of what we feed our people. At CBC, there's no rating of positions. And you know very well, where there's no number 1, 2, or max adding, we don't have competition. We should see what are they consuming. Are we targeting, what is our vision in 20 years to come, 50 years to come as a nation and as a continent? Because the problem of, the usual thinking of problem solving of our problems in Kenya are over. We need to think about the whole of the entire Africa. That is my thinking. And so, we've produced so many graduates, but we don't have jobs for them. Look at Mumia's company. There is a narrative that is going around. Sugar comes from Uganda, they are being repackaged in Kenya. Those are jobs, positions young people are not benefiting from. So those are the things that we need to discuss. Where is the problem? Is the problem the jobs, or is the problem we are producing more than what we need on the market? The government should know how many engineers are being produced per year, how many doctors are being, and how many do we need? Do we need all these universities so that we have sophisticated hobos, everybody is graduating everywhere, and they don't have a place to go? That's where the discussion starts.
You know, I think the problem here is the mentality. Yeah? You don't have to be employed. You know, we are talking about employment. We don't have to be employed, and that is what we should be taught in school. In university, yes, it's very important to go to university. I don't have a problem with that. But have a mind of, I can open my own business. I can start my own business. Because let me tell you, we have a lot of doctors. We have a lot of teachers that are unemployed. So if you're a teacher, you don't get a job. That means, are you going to die? No. You need to have another skill. And now this comes to people who did not manage to go to university. And I feel like Kenya has not concentrated on polytechnics. Back then, polytechnics were very valued, you know, where they taught driving, welding, masonry.
And right now we are looking at the TVET institutions.
Yeah. So they need to revive. They need to revive these polytechnics so that people who cannot get to university and get proper jobs can open their own businesses. And like the other day I was looking for a carpenter, I couldn't get one.
You know, now we have TVETs.
Yeah, I know. But are they operational? How many?
I tend to disagree with her.
Okay.
During the last regime of President Uhuru and Deputy President now, who is our President, His Excellency, they pumped in money to TVETs than universities.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, they pumped in money than the universities. And they did a good thing. But now the problem is still there. These people, we have so many universities. People are getting C's and they want to go to the university. You see, we need to reduce the number of the universities. We pump in money as they have done on TVETs. We get more people doing these courses. But now the selected few come up to the university. Everybody is graduating everywhere, I'm telling you. Recently,
Everyone
there
wants
was
to graduate. There's no problem with that.
But now, when they are graduating, what is the quality they are bringing in the society? If I go to the university as Darren Hart, then after 5 years I come out as an engineer, then I'm unable to bring a solution, a single solution in my society.
Darren, let me get you clearly, because I'm getting confused in what you're saying in a bit. And
Yes.
clarify this. Are you questioning the universities or the graduates?
I'm questioning the quality of education we are getting, and also what the government is planning for them. We are getting a big number of people graduating everywhere in the country. We don't have this position of jobs in the country enough to accommodate them.
So you're
but
saying
also the problem from the universities, what they are being taught. We have seen so many youth who cannot even bring a solution in the society.
So you're saying they cannot bring solutions because they are not taught solutions in school.
They are not producing results. Because if I go to the university for 5 years, I come back in my society and I'm unable to bring even a simple solution, then that is zero.
I think what should be taught is, you know, like I said, mentality. People should be open-minded. You don't have to rely on employment. You don't have to rely on, you know, waiting. If you're a doctor, I'm waiting for, you know, a certain hospital. If I am a marketer, well, employ yourself. Create your own job, in short.
Let me give you a living example. When I was in primary school, I was very young. I used to see Jeff Koinange on television. I still see him today. Tell me how many journalists will want to be in that position if they are waiting for the jobs. Jeff Koinange should have his own channel by now so that he employs other journalists. That is the thinking I want to bring out.
Should they
they're still
reduce the retirement?
The youth are thinking of employment.
You are challenging Jeff Koinange.
Yeah, he should by now
Jeff
have
should
his
go
own
home,
channel. Should not go home.
He
Should
should
have his
create
own
space.
channel
Come on,
so
man.
that more other youth, more other journalists can be absorbed there.
Let me quote Francis Atwoli.
Yeah.
He said this, and I quote, that it's too early kuanza kukupima umefanya nini, because sisi bado tunangoja tusikie vijana wetu wengine wamepata kazi, wakina Malala, akina Rashid Echesa wananisumbua sana akona job. That is according to Francis Atwoli. And he's saying that, you know what, let's give them time, because hata upia wanangoja kuona kazi watu gani watapewa kazi. Don't you feel like we should give the government some more time to see how the employment sector will be transformed?
We should give them time. Personally, I think we should give them time. But hii plan yao, tumeiona mbali. I don't know. I don't like the plan on the table. The plan on the table is not very good. It's not very good.
Another problem with our country is the electorate or the Kenyan citizen. A large number, larger percentage don't know the person or the people they should put accountable. Number one, the problem has no problem when he intends to do something, because everything passes through parliament. And on the county level, they pass through the MCAs. An example, last regime, when the president gave the MCAs a car grant of 2 million, did you see anywhere a single MCA objecting that idea?
No, they did not.
And so, those are the people Kenyans have donated their sovereign power to go to office. The problem is not the governor or the president. The problem Kenyans need to focus on is the member of parliament and the MCAs.
All right, I want us to bring
because
this...
the president cannot do anything without these people.
I want us to bring this discussion to a close, and I want us to wrap it up by first of all getting your opinion on this one last question. Now that we are where we are today, what more changes would are you seeing or looking forward to when it comes to from the government side, and what are your recommendations, and you feel those things that you feel the government needs to prioritize? So those are two questions in one. One, what you're looking forward to, you know, the things that you feel that the government ought to change, or the things you feel like the government is going to change. And number two, what you recommend them to prioritize. Let me start with you, Mukami.
Well, I think right now the most important thing is we have calamities. Right now, in our biggest calamities, I would call it hunger. There is hunger in the country. People are hungry. People don't have food. First of all, they should focus on the needs. The needs, you know, sometimes when you can have a plan, but when there's a problem that comes in, you change the game plan. So right now they should focus on drought, try to save people from hunger. The other thing, they should focus on youth empowerment. Youth empowerment is empowering youths by fund, like what I said, the Hustler Fund. They should strategize it properly.
Okay.
Maybe raise the limit, you know, also employ youths. because we have the same people we had 15 years in the same offices. We have so many learned youth that are jobless. We have so many learned youth that don't know what to do. You have your papers there, you're from, the best university in Kenya, Nairobi University. You don't have a job, but there is this guy who is 60 years old in a parastatal, na pia hatuoni akitoka anytime soon. So they should open these parastatals for us. They should seriously open these jobs for us as young people. And the other thing is about the integrity issue. They should focus on Chapter 6 of our Constitution, because a lot of things that are happening right now are contradicting the integrity. There is a lot of rewarding going on, which is not right. It's not right. Our Constitution should be respected.
All right.
Okay, what I can say, what I expect, moving on, the government should at least revive these industries that have fallen out of hand in our country. If they revive, that is when the jobs will be created. And also, let them finish what the other regime had started, like the way the Deputy President was saying, completing those roads, then we can start a new one. Let's not start new projects, and we've not completed the ones they started. I expect the education sector to be looked in, because a country that does not prioritize education is a failing country, and it has no future. And a society can never be better if a place that should be a center, a standard of solution, where policy solutions can be sorted, can never be better if we get the legislature or the member of parliament. They have turned that house to be the center of comedy and scandals. It's 100 days, but we've seen what has been happening before. This thing to do with corruption, the government should be very, very strict on those policies, because a society can never be better where the standards of solution are made and policies is in a state of decay, in a state of corruption. And so those are the things that are killing this country. Because as I'm speaking to you, Kenyans are very depressive. They are living as predators. You see, when there's no job, there's no food. And also, the government should check this thing to do with the other side of the country. They are giving food to the animals. A friend was telling me that where he comes in Kinangop or Nyandarua, or where they are cutting cabbage to cows when people are dying in Turkana. Is it a problem of redistribution of food that we have, or what? Those are the key things that we need to focus on.
And of course, even as we look into seeing more that the government is going to do, remember the 100 days lapsed on 13th of December. We are still waiting to see how things will change. It is the time of Christmas. Many Kenyans are still licking wounds in regards to the cost of living, still high. It is perhaps the most pressing issue that the president is looking to change in his administration. Also, the issue concerning the wage bill, pending bills, and dealing with the mounting debt that the country is facing at the moment. Well, time will tell whether these things will be dealt with, including corruption. Yeah. You mentioned that earlier on. Corruption. Those are things that we are looking forward to seeing change in the coming future. But of course, thank you so much to everybody that was tuned in to this morning conversation right here on Why in the Morning. We were talking about matters concerning 100 days of the Kenya Kwanza government in office. And I was with Darren Hart. My brother, thanks so much for coming. I appreciate your presence. And Ndirana kazi nzuri sana. Umesema the people's president.
Yes.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
And Olivia Mukami, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your presence. Keep doing what you're doing. And I wish you well in the coming election.
Thank you.
Ukishinda pia, ushinde ama usishinde, uje hapa.
Lazima nitashinda.
Tupate ripoti tuone venye kitakuwa, si ndio? But we believe utapata.
Sure, I believe in that,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this discussion right here on Why in the Morning. My name is Ram Maguko. It has been a pleasure being with you on this fine Wednesday morning. But keep tuned in because we still have more coming up your way right here on Why in the Morning. We're taking a short break. We'll be back in a bit.